Hey guys, happy Sunday. I'm going to do that question and answer video again for you all, and hopefully everything uploads just fine. Most of the questions were relating to the happy body, so I thought it would be nice to just read my favorite review. I thought it was excellent, and it pretty much covered everything, and it says it better than I'll probably be able to stumble it out to you guys. So, interested in the happy body. That's the thing, like, I'm not selling anything. I'm not trying to get you all to buy anything. It's simply what I started doing. I got the book a few years ago, and I started doing it pretty much this year, just because I like the lifestyle. I like the approach, and it's a little goes against the grain from most popular fitness sites and lifestyle programs and so forth. Even the diet a little bit. So it makes good sense, and it definitely works, and it's healthy, and you're a lot more rested, and I like that. So, and you're not injuring yourself. So here's the review. It's by David Kelsey. This is a long review. The shortened version is this. The happy body lives up to its claims. I'm 64 and I've exercised all my life. First with competitive weightlifting in high school, then years of jogging, elliptical machines, and a brief exposure to yoga. I have more than a passing interest in the science of exercise, but I am not an expert. Like Jersey, one of the authors, I'm a believer in quantifying and tracking results to give you an idea as to where you have been and how you are doing. Concept. The program is based on the understanding that it must become part of one's life, that it must be integrated into one's life just as other daily activities are part of one's life. In order to do this well, a connection must be made to the program such that it becomes a way of life for you. As a professional pianist, I recognize the need for practice, as I can connect the benefits of practice to maintaining a desired skill and performance levels. 1 hour of practice a day for 5 straight days yields far superior results than 5 hours on Friday. The authors are working on a DVD to help bolster this concept. Results. In 6 weeks, my rate of fat loss is slightly exceeding the program's predictions. However, the rate of muscle gain has far exceeded what I expected or what the program predicted. This is not a bad thing. I always thought that muscle needed time to rebuild, but following the program, exercising every day has resulted in building muscle in spite of no rest days in between. Measuring body fat. One of the best aspects of the book is tracking both body fat and muscle. The program takes simple measurements using a ruler and the pinch test. While these may be reliable for younger people, I do not believe them to be reliable for older people. I tried several pinch tests as well as the U.S. Navy method, and they all significantly underestimated my real body fat content, which I had precisely measured by undergoing a DEXA scan, the gold standard for measuring body fat. As long as you consistently use the same method of tracking your body fat content, that is good enough. I found Slim Guide calipers to be the best of the low-priced calipers for measuring skin folds. Okay? Setting body fat leanness goals. I spent some time thinking about this. While increasing degrees of leanness are good to a point, it's a mistake, in my opinion, to adopt absolute numbers as defining thresholds that are definitely good or bad. After doing some research, I agree with that. After doing some research, I've adopted a goal of 15% body fat and a body mass index of 25. That would put me at my high school weight of 45 years ago. For me, that's probably good enough. If I reach that and I like it, I can always treat it as an interim goal. I suggest followers of the program consider setting interim goals rather than all or nothing goals, and then evaluate how they look and feel as they reach them. The important thing to keep in mind is that progress is defined as moving towards your goals, whatever that might be. Sequences and levels. Okay, let me see. he's covering different segments of the book, and in a very short, articulate manner. That's why I'm reading it to you guys. I think it's very well written and sums up exactly what I thought. Sequences and levels. When I first started the program, I mistakenly thought that one needed to get to level 5 of each exercise before advancing to the next sequence. Wrong. You move on to the next sequence after spending a week on each one. So in 3 weeks, you have tried all the exercises and all the sequences. Okay. In my case, I was and am all over the place relative to levels, as the pure strength exercises are easy for me, while the ones that require considerable flexibility are much more challenging. The point is not to get discouraged over the exercises that may be particularly challenging for you. Pace. Trying to do 3 sets each of 18 individual exercises is initially challenging. He goes on to say perhaps more so for someone of my age, because he's 64. It may take a while to build up stamina to work up to this, so don't get discouraged before you have a chance to adapt to the demands of the program. Okay. Other considerations. The program is presented as totally inclusive. It improves people's youthfulness and is therefore beneficial when doing many other kinds of physical exercises, including other sports. Since my current flexibility is somewhere between poor and fair, I occasionally add 2 mild stretching exercises to aid in my ability to do the extended bend over and overhead squat press exercises that are in the program. You can order a poster on their website, and it's quite large, and all the exercises, they're in the book, but the poster to me is just really convenient because I actually can just hang it on my wall in my workout space, and it's all right there. And I have it memorized now, so but that comes from doing it on a daily basis. So eventually you'll memorize it. I also do some HIIT, high intensity interval training, no more than 3 days a week. That's probably about what I do. I do like some Pilates, probably about 2 or 3 days a week, and I do some HIIT sort of exercises about 3 days a week. So yeah, that's neat. I find both of these useful in getting to my overall goals. 2 final comments. I've communicated via email with Jersey a few times, and he has always been prompt answering my questions. I second that. He's very, very good to get back to you in a jiffy. And it's been I talked to him on the phone actually too, and he's a wonderful man, and he's quite a humble, quiet type, soft-spoken man, and I liked him very much. That's unusual and much appreciated. Also, I've mentioned his name a few times in this review. That is not to be construed as my minimizing Anelia's contribution to the book. Anelia is Jersey's wife, and she and Jersey wrote the book. So I thought that was a great review. It pretty much it does a great job summing it up. Now you can go on YouTube and watch tons of testimonials from people of all different age groups, which is initially what I did before I bought the book, actually. So I would recommend that. There are younger, older, people that have had cancer, and people that have had huge injury. There are people from all walks of life, and all different. They have all different sort of job descriptions and schedules, and some are parents and some are not. So that helped me. I watched the testimonials, I purchased the book, and I read the entire book, enjoyed it. It was not a chore to read. It was very straightforward as to the approach with the science behind the weight loss and the muscle, gaining the lean muscle, and the rest and the relaxation, the meditation, the overall approach. If you're interested, I would suggest watching the testimonials before you buy the book and reading. They have www.thehappybody.com, and they have tons of testimonials on there too, and just like a one-page summary of each sort of chapter in the book. So read that before you purchase the book if you're still interested. And this might turn people off. This lifestyle is quite it's quite basic, and it is hard to wrap your mind around, because you will actually be a little easier on your workouts and a little gentler on your body. So a lot of people feel like they're not working out if they're not profusely sweating and doing hour-long cardio sessions or half-hour cardio sessions paired with half-hour weight training routine in the gyms, or in their gym at home. So a lot of people have written me and said, is that enough? And this is what I'm saying to you. It definitely is enough, the exercises in this book, but it also has to be coupled with the diet. So if you're not following the way that the diet approach of this book, then it's not going to work for you as far as like your goals and stuff for leanness and building lean muscle. On to another question from Miss Milano. Cleanses can be wonderful. I haven't done a really thorough cleanse ever. My cleanse basically is just eating lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, drinking lots of water, green tea, avoiding alcohol for the most part. But these sorts of things have helped to clean my body to where I feel like I don't really feel like I need a cleanse. Now, there's a lot of people that they are led to pursue a thorough body cleanse due to some kind of a physical ailment or disease. I just haven't really had a reason to do that right now. But they can be wonderful, and I've heard both. I've heard great, wonderful experiences, and then I've seen people take it to extreme also, like with anything. So when I hear someone constantly talking about what's toxic for our bodies and disease and cleansing all the time, and they tend to be a little too extreme for me personally. They might be very passionate about it for their own reasons, and I respect that, because we can't avoid all toxins. We can't avoid everything without living in a bubble. So yes, I know they're out there, and I know there's certain things that are horrible for our bodies and that we should try to avoid, and then just hush up about it. Like I'm that's how I feel. Like I don't want to hear about it all the time, every single day. Did you know what's in that? Did you there's sometimes you can try to over-inform people, and it's a turn-off, and people don't even listen to you anymore. So that's my opinion on that. Stereotypes, I love to see people break them. I love to see like even myself, like 3 children, and does not mean that you have to have a wrecked physique, a wrecked body. It does not mean that you have to blow up. It does not like gain tons of weight and never lose it. It does not mean that you have to be so tired all the time. It doesn't mean that you have to and that's a stereotype I felt like that I was blessed to sort of break. To many people that know me, they were kind of just like, wow, that sort of showed me that you don't have to be overweight, tired, lethargic, and you can never basically get your figure back just because you have kids. So I actually love to see people break stereotypes and then hear their story. I really enjoy that because there are so many out there. And I read a really good article about meat. So talking about how meat does not rot in your gut, because I've had people preach that to me, and it does not rot in your gut. It is broken down very differently than fruits and vegetables and grains, and those actually rot in your gut. So it was an interesting article, and I haven't shared it on my page because I don't want to get a big stir up, but it helped me. It helped me to sort of understand the whole process of digestion and my occasional meal of meat. So that was interesting. DVD workouts. I personally don't like to rely on them just because I have to go get my laptop and put a DVD in there, and I like the knowledge of what I'm going to be doing every day. The Happy Body, I already know the exercises. They're functional, they're effective, they're working. DVDs are totally fun for me. So it's like on a day, it's a rainy day, and I just want to. But I find that I tend to, after I did Z's whole DVD series and stuff, it was like very repetitive, and I found that I get bored. So I get bored of the same thing. So I don't get bored of her, but I get bored of the same thing. So any DVD series, I would tend to get bored of even the same person doing them. Or, I like to get up in the quiet with my own reflection, my own music, go in my quiet room, do my routine with my own thoughts. I don't really like to hear someone else talking me through a workout. That bugs me. Personally, it helps tons of people. So I don't really have an opinion on DVD workouts, except that they're not necessarily my favorite way to work out, is all I'm going to say. But they are, I know tons of people that have amazing figures and love DVDs, and so I'm all for them, for those people. Okay, and Stephanie, she wanted to know a short review on the first time I did a HIIT workout. Was it difficult, and did it change my workouts from then on? Yeah, I didn't even know anything about HIIT workouts until, of course, I saw Susanna probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and I was completely blown away by her figure. And a lot of times, we take an interest in someone's program just by the way they look. Maybe we shouldn't, but I think if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of times we're captivated by someone's body, their appearance, their physique, or their beautiful complexion, or whatever it is for a healthy lifestyle, that we want to emulate whatever it is that they're doing because they look so amazing, or they feel so amazing, or their words capture us with their experience from something, or their testimony. So with her, it was just simply that I first saw her physique and was impressed. Then I watched work at her doing these and listened to what she had to say, because I didn't know about HIIT training back then. I was a runner. So yeah, I did my first one. I think it was Death by Workout. It's one of my favorite ones, and I did that. It was just 2 exercises, but you just kept repeating. And I just remember I was so incredibly sore for like 2 or 3 days. My rear end and my legs, I could barely sit down, and I was blown away. Because here I was a runner, and I had run for years. I was an athlete in college, and I had not been this sore. And women love to work their butt, their leg, their hips, their inner leg, thighs, their calf, everything. So I was tickled to death. So yeah, I just kept doing them. I was addicted, and they work, and it changed my body. It allowed me to go through 2 pregnancies in crazy good shape. Have amazing, my birth experience was amazing. And then and you can ask my family, within a week or 2, I remember just lifting my shirt up and showing my mother-in-law my tummy a week after I had Brax, and my husband's aunt, and they both were just, it was just like, you could tell they were very surprised to see that, my abs were pretty much getting ready to pop back out. It was just crazy. So, and I was so surprised. Like it was new to me, and it was exciting. And I will never forget the first couple of weeks that I was doing this training, and how I felt and the results I was seeing. And of course, it's old news now, because that's pretty much taught me to stop my running, my long distance running, and my treadmill runs. And Mary Beth, you wanted to know how I find motivation to stay disciplined with my diet, and how do I have the willpower, and you find it hard, to avoid the kids' snacks and treats. So understandable, and I relate also. I don't have as much problem now with willpower issues or motivation, but I did at the beginning, and I remember what that was like. I've been doing this for so long now, and I've said this before, but I had really bad experiences with feeling dead inside, wanted to just give up. I felt depressed and sick and tired and just so down on myself physically and emotionally, and it was so difficult. Life was so hard. It was so sad. And because of my new lifestyle and my new walk of faith and my new understanding of what's good for my body and my well-being, I don't find it hard anymore to make good choices. And that's just because I think I had an extreme experience with the opposite. So if you've never had like these things, struggle with alcoholism, struggle with depression, struggle with, I didn't eat properly. I was sick, and I was wasting my life. And I did that in my early to mid 20s was when I was the sickest. And I was very quiet about it. Only certain people closest to me knew. And that's why I don't believe in excuses for myself personally, because I've seen the greener side. I've seen what it's like to live and to feel good and healthy and to eat plenty and have nice toned muscles, be strong. I have so much energy now. And just to feel alive and to feel well is so important to me. That bunch of cookies and sugar and stuff that I mentally know is not offering me anything good, substantial, or nutritious, I don't crave that, because I just feel like, okay, what's the point to eat this? Because this is simply going to do this, and none of it's good. So to me, I just kind of have an aversion to things. Now, I set aside days for my treats, but they're not always like horrible for me. Sometimes they are not the best, but it's like once, twice a week. So, and it's no big deal. They're again balanced, but as far as like during the week, I pretty much, there's no option for me to ever go back. And when I eat unhealthy and succumb to all these weaknesses on a regular basis, I'm not talking about I just gave in, I was having a craving. I do that. But on a regular basis, and then the mental thing where you beat yourself up and you feel regretful and you feel disgusting or upset with yourself or disappointed in yourself, I did that for years. So I don't have time for that now with me. I'm not talking about you or anyone else, but with me, that's not an option anymore for me. That's not a life well lived. And I know where that path leads. And I'm one of these people that is prone to go all out one way or all out the other. And I know that about myself. So that's why I'm so strict with my choices. I'm not so strict because I enjoy it. It's not hard for me because if it's good for me, I enjoy it. So pretty much like it's not difficult for me. And on a second note, I don't keep things in the house that I know I'm going to be constantly tempted with, like cheesecake. I've given half a cheesecake away before. I'm not going to keep it in my refrigerator or in my cabinet if I know that it's going to cause me to fail. So I would suggest just keeping things that you don't crave, or so even if my kids like love something, but I do too, I probably won't buy it at the store. They can get it when we go out to a restaurant or something like that, where I'm not taking it home with me. So that's just a practical approach to help yourself. Don't keep it in the house. You wanted to know about emotional eating, my thoughts on emotional eating. Emotional eating is super common, and I think everyone has probably struggled with that, including myself. At times, my thing, when I get sad, down, mad, frustrated, bored, whatever it is, I'm rarely ever bored. There's no excuse on being bored. There's too much to do. But when I find that my emotions are leading to any kind of behavior that is not okay, that I don't want to see myself repeating over and over again, just realize that we're all going to get emotional. So you need to figure out a way that you're going to deal with it when you get emotional. I get mad when because we all can identify our responses to our emotions. So we know, like, a lot of us, when we get upset or sad, what we eat, chocolate, whatever. So learn from your past behaviors, your temptations, what you're inclined to do, and figure out a way to avoid that. So when I'm down now, I go sleep. It's good for my body. I feel better when I wake up. And sometimes I work out. Sometimes. A long walk or a rollerblade or something. But generally, I go sleep. Because I have all the kids and I usually can't just like go leave. And So I'll go make some hot tea and I'll go lay down. And that's very helpful to me because I know, like, I'm going to help you to go stuff your face with Twinkies and brownies and every decadent dessert. Is just going to make you feel horrible later. You're going to feel horrible and you're going to, just be so aggravated that you took that route again, and it's just a bad habit. So you just I feel like with emotional eating, you just basically have to break a bad habit. So you have to first see that you're doing it and that you keep repeating that. So when you get this way, this is what you're going to do. So you just got to stop the bad habit. And habits are very hard to break. So best thing is not to start it in the first place. But if you have, you need to figure out ahead of time, when you're not sad, mad, upset, whatever, what you're going to do when you do get that way. And then you need to implement it. You need to avoid the other destructive, self-destructive behavior. Because by nature, I was always self-destructive. I was always doing things self-destructive, and I think it comes from just not respecting yourself or believing in your ability to overcome something, or not really feeling your worth, that you matter in this life, or that you matter at all. So, and once all of that sort of got dealt with, and I understood all of these different dynamics of what I was feeling and what I was doing to deal and cope, it's a coping mechanism. So emotional eating is a coping mechanism. But you just have to change the way you cope. And that's what I learned to do. And that's why for many, many years now, when I need to cope with something that is especially difficult, and I'll probably have plenty of that in the future, then you just have to already know mentally and plan on how you're going to handle that. And that's the best way I know how to say that, and self-destructive. So I hope this was helpful.